Hello and welcome to this first episode of the Silejo Bay series, in which I'll be creating city skyline town or a couple of villages, maybe some bigger town. We will see how it develops. Either way, welcome, and I will give you a quick tour of the map in this first episode. I will tell you something about where I took inspiration from, what it might look like once I've built some houses and so on, and what the episode might look like. Today we will just look over the map, some locations which might be points of interest. We will not be doing any terraforming because that is already done. And so let's start. If you look at the map, you could see it's probably located on the coast, and that's exactly true. The original of this map is called Gonti Bay. You can find it on the workshop. It's created by Greyflame, and it's awesome looking map. I loved it in an instance. However, I thought it could use some updates, so I took the liberty. I hope it's not an issue with an author. I might check that. Anyway, the original map, as you can see, is a lot of hills, abundance of trees, and very nice looking bay area facing the Pacific coast of the United States. That's where the inspiration came from. It was mostly hilly, so I took that liberty and added a couple of rivers to the right side of the map, which is actually outside of 25 tiles, which never mind, because we will be unlocking the outside tiles anyway. So there's this North River, really slow flowing through the valley, creating a lot of fertile banks. Small river, and then I created this South River, which is more rapidly flowing. It's a bigger river, and there are also some valleys into it connected, which will allow us to build some smaller towns along it. So I modified the map, and this is what it looks like right now. Like I said, it's based on the west coast of the United States, namely Oregon, and probably it is inspired by Silejo Bay and Yakina Bay, which are actual location, though this is not exact copy of any of those. It's rather, let's say, loosely inspired. So I kind of follow it, and when we will be reviewing map into more details, I will like right now I will show you a couple of screenshots from Google Maps where you can clearly see that I took an inspiration just from this area. Now let's move around the map. Let's see what it looks like from other angles. You know, a lot of hills clearly. Let's start here, which I think it's a good. It was originally a starting area, sort of. There is a lot of rocks and cliffs. I think this particular area might be pretty nice place for a lighthouse, so we might want to place it here, and some resorts along the coast and so on. Here originally the biggest, let's say, flat area, which is pretty suitable for some bigger sprawling town. I marked it as a starting tile, though we will be unlocking all the tiles at the beginning, so that doesn't really matter. I think this city, or let's say all the shore of the bay, can be used for some sort of cities which actually exist. We will try to capture the realistic feel of this Pacific North Coast. So there is small towns, resorts, not much industry. It's rather forestry, and tourist driven area where it's possible some farms. Another very interesting place on this map is clearly this cape, which just begs me, you know, to place a lot of beach houses on it. And wow, there's even maybe possibility for some port or marina somewhere here or in the bay. I don't know. That's actually not where we're going to start, but I'm getting there. So lot of hills here, as you can see. There is a lot of trees, and if you want to run this map, you are actually going to need a mod because it exceeds the original game limit of the trees that you can plop onto your map. But that's not an issue for us. So let's see. Here I created or modified this river against the original map and created this little valley where we are going to build a town probably. As you can see, I took a heavy inspiration from the town called, or city called, Toledo, which is in the Oregon, and I might want to, let's say, follow the feel of this city when I'm building it. There is a train right here, which is, I think, very important because the train connection, there is not a lot of points where you can, you know, build around trains on the Pacific West Coast North, and this is one of those. So some industry certainly will be here, and then the city will sprawl along the rivers. So yeah, I think this is very nice looking area. And right here we have what I call the Silejo area. This is a place we are going to start. I think it offers very nice looking river, and if we look from the top, you can see I clearly took an inspiration from the city called Silejo. So even the name might sound familiar. We are not trying to exactly copy anything. No, we'll be very loosely inspired, and I will not hesitate to make it whatever I want to. So don't try to compare, really. It's just loose inspiration. It's just capturing the feel and somewhat realism of the area. Though our Silejo village will be very similar in the size and also, like I said, in the feel, because the Silejo is actually a Native American tribe, which before the white man came, it really reigned this area, and a lot of land belonged to them. That changed, however, and a lot of tribes, you know, just a warning, this is a fake history which I'll be, you know, talking to you about a lot during this series, so take it with the grain of salt. You know, it has nothing to do with reality, and any semblance is just a random. So this Silejo tribe I'm talking about, they were forced to move to this valley, which were given to them by the government, and it took a lot of years because before they were legislatively, you know, identified as a Native American tribe and given a big reservation. However, there is not a lot of people left, so what they actually have left is this sort of valley where they have a town, and they kind of live as they can. So this is going to be our starting point, making a small, cramped, old country feel city, really just low residential, low story buildings, you know, there is a lot of land, no need to make any skyscrapers or anything. So if you are looking for a series which creates big Pacific Coast city like Seattle or whatever, this is not it. No, we'll not be placing any single skyscraper in this valley because really it doesn't belong here. Mostly what the people are doing is some farming, cow breeding, hay and blueberry farms, and what is important in this area overall is certainly forestry industry, which makes pretty sense because there is a lot of trees around. So we'll be focusing on that. That is about what you can expect building wise. Now the episodes will probably be smaller than you might be used to. I'm not really into long YouTube videos, so there will be some speed building with commentary, in which I'm going to show you what I have built in a sped up motion, and I will talk about it a little, give you some fake history lessons, and then there will be some I would like to do some live portion in the end, couple of minutes, show you some tips and tricks around which I use while building my cities. We will see how it develops. Also, please some patience because I'm not exactly an expert. I still have some learning curve to do. So as this series progress, I think it will get better, or at least I hope so. So that's probably it for today. I will leave you with some cinematic shots and see you in the first episode of the Silejo Bay. Goodbye.